Hello everyone, welcome to Time Classes. In this lecture, we are going to discuss some current affairs and concepts related to the economy and the banking sector. So let's get started. Now here on the screen you can see you have your first question, which says, who among the following is the author of Legend of Kailashdev, the king who saved India? Is it Chetan Bhagat? Is it Amish Tripathi? Is it Salman Rushdie? Is it Arvind Adiga? Or is it Amitav Ghosh? Right. Well, the author of this particular book is Mr. Amish Tripathi. Right. The author of this book is Mr. Amish Tripathi. Now, Mr. Amish Tripathi today is considered to be, the rock star of the literary world. He became famous because of the Shiva trilogy, and and a couple of non-fiction books as well, that he has written. So when it comes to mythological writing and putting that interpretation in the modern day language, so that today's generation is able to understand the achievements of our mythological figures. That way, Mr. Amish Tripathi, he ranks very high. He publishes with Westland Publishers, and he has a very beautiful struggle story as well. How he graduated from IIM Calcutta. He worked for a while and then he left, and then when he wrote his first book, there was no publisher who was willing to accept his book, but then he self-published. He struggled, then when finally it was picked up by Westland Publishers, and then there was no looking back. Chetan Bhagat is a household name in the world of literature. 5 Point Someone, and so on and so forth. He has again given many popular books. Salman Rushdie, is one of the first literary icons, I guess, after Ravindranath Tagore, and Salman Rushdie has got Man Booker Prize as well. And Midnight Children is one of his popular books. Arvind Adiga also has got the Booker Prize, and he has written The White Tiger. And then we have Amitav Ghosh, again a very popular Indian writer, and all of these writers are write in English. And Amitav Ghosh has written one of his popular books is Sea of Poppies. So you should go through them, and look for their books. They're very popular writers among India, right? And India has been doing significantly well in the world of literature as well. Okay, now let's come to the next question, which says, whose consent and signature are required if a partner of a firm wants to open a bank account in the name of the firm? Right. So all the partners, managing partners, any one partner, dominant partner, or none of the partners, right? So the point here is, all the partners, they have to come together in order to open if they want to open a bank account in the name of the firm, right? So all the partners, they hold weightage in this particular regard, right? So that's the thing. So all the partners have to come in. Okay, let's continue further. Which of the following has received the patent for its liquid cooling and heating garment, which is LCHG? Is it DRDO? Is it ISRO? Is it ESA? Is it NASA? Or is it JAXA? Or is it JAXA? Well, this LCAG, which is liquid cooling and heating garment, this has been actually created by ISRO, our very own Indian Space Research Organization, which made a very bold attempt to land on the polar surface of the moon. That was a very difficult landing to make, and yet they did a very good job. So that's the thing. Now, if you talk about this liquid cooling, heating and garment, it's some kind of an all-weather kind of a suit. And as you know that in space, the spaceship can get very heated because the sun rays directly fall on the spaceship, and they require some specialized garments and all in order to wear it. So this LCHG is a close fitting. It's a single piece covering the entire body, right from the feet to the head. So it's a single piece. It's not that you wear a shirt and then a trouser. You have to get inside the dress. So that's the thing. And and it weighs between around 1,000 to 3,000 grams, so 1 kilo to 3 kilo. And there's a front zipper and you have to enter into it. Now it has multiple pipes, and these pipes help to take out the internal body heat out, and the sweat and all is all taken out. So but to the sweat is a huge problem for the people who go into space, right? So that's the thing. Even though the patent is in the name of ISRO, the interesting part here is you should know about the 4 inventors who actually created this particular suit, which is liquid cooling and heating garment suit, right? So the point here is the 4 inventors are Mr. Sri Rangam Siripothu. You can write down the spelling. It is SRIRANGAM Sri Rangam, and then SIRIPOTHU. So Sri Rangam Siripothu. So that's the first person. The next person is Reshmi Balachandran. So please write down the name, spelling RESHI space Reshmi, that's BALACHANDRAN. So Reshmi Balachandran. Then we have Saraswati Kesava Pillai Manu. Saraswati is SARASWATHI, Saraswati. Then the next name is Kesava, KESAVA. The next name of the same name, So Saraswati Kesava. Then the third name is Pillai, PILLAI, and the fourth name is Manu, MANU. So Saraswati Kesava Pillai Manu. The fourth person is Gurumurthy Chandrasekharan. So the spelling goes GURUMURTHY, Gurumurthy space Chandrasekharan, which is CHANDRASEKARAN. So Gurumurthy Chandrasekharan, right? So that is your LCAG address for you, right? So all of us, we know about ISRO, right? It was founded in 1969, and currently who's the director of ISRO? It is Mr. K. Sivan, right? So that's the thing, and it is headquartered in Bengaluru, right? DRDO, I hope everybody knows, it's a Defense Research and Development Organization, right? And it's again, it does research in multiple areas, from missiles to whatnot, and it has a number of patents, number of patents, and it does some fantastic jobs. In fact, recently when the Indian government has announced an embargo on more than 100 defense related equipments and vehicles and other things, like even missiles and aeroplanes and all. So this embargo would be launched very soon, and then the private companies have been asked to manufacture the things in India, private as well as government organizations in India. They would be manufacturing the equipments now, and they can use their own technology, or they can actually borrow the technology from DRDO. So that's a very interesting thing about DRDO. And the current chairman of DRDO is Dr. G. Satish Reddy, SATHEESH, Satish Reddy, REDDY, Dr. G. Satish Reddy. Okay, so that's the thing. ESA, I guess all of us know. No, not many of us would be knowing. Sorry. ESA stands for European Space Agency, and it's an intergovernmental organization of 22 member states, right? And of course, the dedication is about exploration of space. It was established in 1975, and it is headquartered in Paris, right? So that is your ESA. The CEO of European Space Agency currently is Johan Dietrich Warner, JOHANN, Johan, DIETRICH WORNER. And the O has a 2 dots, the way some European countries that tend to write their names. And ESA was founded in 1975, by the way, and especially the founding countries were Germany, France, Italy, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Spain, Switzerland, Belgium, Sweden, and Denmark, right? Then we have NASA. NASA is a very, again, very popular organization. I think this one everybody must be knowing. It is National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Right. Again, it's an independent agency of the United States federal government. And it's responsible for the civil space programs there. Right. A lot of expeditions they have taken. Right. So NASA, we all know about that, right? And then we have JAXA, which is Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. Again, it's the Japanese National Aerospace and Space Agency, right? And that's the thing. By the way, if you talk about NASA, it's headquartered in Washington. And if you talk about JAXA, National Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA, it is headquartered in Tokyo, Japan again, so that's the thing. So here the right answer is ISRO. ISRO has received the patent for the liquid cooling and heating garment, LCHG, right? So let's go to the next question. So which of the following ministers has launched the platform Yukti 2.0? Well, if you talk about Yukti 2.0, it is actually an initiative of Ministry of Human Resource and Development, or you can also call, so that's the thing. So MHRD's Innovation Cell and All India Council for Technical Education, they collaborated together to launch this Yukti 2.0. So basically it is focused on creating a national database of technologies and innovations along with their commercialization potential, and also the startups from our academic institutes. So they focus on all of them, right? So that's the thing. So here the right answer then would become Ministry of Education, or you can call it Ministry of Human Resource and Development. And currently the Union Minister for this particular ministry is, any guesses? Mr. Ramesh Pokhriyal, Pokhriyal, Mr. Ramesh Pokhriyal. And this ministry was set up in 1985. Right, so that's the thing. Then we have the Ministry of Science and Technology. Again, it kind of administers the rules and regulations and laws relating to science and technology in India. The Union Minister of this is Mr. Harshvardhan, right? So that's the thing. And then we have Ministry of Home Affairs. It's responsible for all the internal security of the country and most of the decisions that are taken within the country. And Mr. Amit Shah kind of heads this particular ministry. So this is something we know. Ministry of Finance, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman is currently heading it. The Ministry of Railways we have, which is again headed by Mr. Piyush Goyal, right? So these are the other ministries which you should be knowing. Anyway, let's come to next question. Who among the following was appointed chairman of Indian Financial Technology and Allied Services, IFTAS? So basically, by the way, let's look at the options as well. Is it Mr. Urjit Patel? Is it Viral Acharya? Is it T. Ravi Shankar? Is it C. Rangarajan? Or is it Mr. Sunil Kumar? Well, IFTAS, Indian Financial Technology and Allied Services, is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Reserve Bank of India, and it is mandated to design, deploy and support IT related services to the Reserve Bank of India and all banks and financial institutions in the country, right? And recently they have announced Mr. T. Ravi Shankar as a chairman, right? And Dr. N. Rajendra as the CEO of the organization, right? So this has been announced in May recently. And currently Mr. T. Ravi Shankar is also serving as the Executive Director of Reserve Bank of India, right? In the first option we have the name which is Mr. Urjit Patel. He's an Indian economist who served as the 24th Governor of the Reserve Bank of India from 4th of September 2016 to 10th of December 2018, right? So that is Mr. Urjit Patel. Then we have in the second option, the name that we have is Viral V. Acharya. He again is an Indian economist who was appointed as Deputy Governor of Reserve Bank of India, right? And he also served as a member of the Advisory Council of RBI Academy and was a member of the Academic Council of the National Institute of Securities Market, which comes under SEBI. So that is Mr. Viral Acharya. Right. In the fourth option, we have C. Rangarajan, or in other words, Mr. Chakravarti Rangarajan. Again, he was the 19th governor of the Reserve Bank of India, right? And he's also the former chairman of the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council. He resigned the day the UPA lost power, right? So that's Mr. C. Rangarajan for you. And in the fifth option, we have Mr. Sunil Kumar. He happens to be a director, and Mr. Sunil Kumar is a director, and he's a director in the Department of Economic and Policy Research, DEPR, of Reserve Bank of India. He's the director of the Department of Economic Policy and Research, DEPR, of the Reserve Bank of India. So the right answer here is Mr. T. Ravi Shankar, who has been appointed the chairman of Indian Financial Technology and Allied Services, IFTAS. Yeah, okay, let's continue. Now, the next question that we have is, which state has launched Ekatu Khelo, Ekatu Padho? Is it Tripura? Is it Manipur? Is it Assam? Is it West Bengal, or is it Odisha? Well, the Tripura government has announced a special initiative for activity-based learning named Ekatu Khelo, Ekatu Padho. So this initiative is of the Tripura government. This new scheme, it was floated aiming at engaging students by disseminating audio and video content focused on hands-on learning and messages of simple projects, right? Fun activities and game, and among them to, like, through WhatsApp and SMS and all, they would communicate to the students. So the new scheme can be accessed by smartphones of guardians also. So if the students do not have smartphones, and maybe the guardians have smartphones or SMS services, they can access through that as well, right? In case no smartphone is available, SMS service would be used to teach students. So that's the thing. So it's a very novel instruction, and the lessons and exercises will reach students on their mobile phone every morning, right? So that's the thing. So Tripura currently has about 4,398 government and government aided schools, apart from 335 private schools, right? And Ektu Khelo, Ektu Padho mission would serve all of them, right? And about 5 lakh students, they study in these schools across the state, including nearly 1 lakh admitted in private schools. Few things about Tripura. The Chief Minister of Tripura is Mr. Biplab Kumar Dev, BIPLAB, Biplab Kumar Dev. And the Governor of Tripura is Mr. Ramesh Bais, BAIS. Base, however you'd like to pronounce it, the name is Mr. Ramesh BAIS, Bais, right? So that's the thing. So here the right answer is Tripura. Okay, everybody, let's move forward. Now, this is a very interesting question. With which of the following Ministry of Skill Development and Enterprise, MSDE, partner to unveil free digital learning platform, which is Skills Build Reignite? Is it Wipro, IBM, Infosys, or is it Microsoft or Google? Well, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, which is MSDE, has partnered with IBM in this case, right? So right answer is 2, IBM, and they have unveiled a free digital learning platform, Skills Build Reignite, right, to reach more job seekers and new resources to and provide new resources to business owners in India, right? So there are various web portals and apps with Hindi acronyms such as Yukti, Disha, Swayam, etc. in this case, right? So that's the thing. So this skill building, this Reignite tends to provide job seekers and entrepreneurs with access to free online coursework, right, and mentoring support designed to help them reinvent their careers and businesses. It is a long-term institutional training to the national youth through its network of training institutes and infrastructure. So that's the thing. Now, if you talk about IBM, the full form of IBM is actually International Business Machine Corporation. First, it was into the business of building computers, but its technology became outdated, and but then some of the laptops, like ThinkPad and all, were like very good laptops that IBM used to create. But given the competition from companies like Microsoft, Apple, and the hardware manufacturers of Microsoft Windows, which is HP, Dell, and so on and so forth, IBM then decided that it would sell its computer making business. So it sold its computer making business to Lenovo, a Chinese company, and then it got into completely service oriented business. So it offers services in multiple areas. It is headquartered in New York, and incidentally the CEO of IBM is an Indian, Mr. Arvind Krishna, and he has been the CEO since 6th of April 2020. Right, so that's the thing. Then we have Wipro. Wipro is again an Indian multinational company. It's a fantastic company which is doing very well. It is also listed on the National Stock Exchange. It's in consulting, it's in business process services. So IBM and Wipro, they are all competitors. And as you may know, Azim Premji is the owner of Wipro. More than 70% of the shares is owned by Mr. Azim Premji, right? And the CEO of this thing, Wipro Limited, is currently Thierry Delaporte, which is Thierry, Thierry Delaporte, 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 right? And it is headquartered in Bengaluru, right, Karnataka. So I hope you know that. Then we have, in the third option, we have Infosys, again an Indian multinational companies, right? And the current CEO of Infosys is Mr. Salik Parekh. It is also headquartered in Bengaluru, and the star icons who founded this company were Mr. N.R. Narayana Murthy, Mr. Nandan Nilekani, right? So I hope you should know these names. Then we have Microsoft Corporation. Of course, it was founded by Bill Gates and Paul Allen. The current CEO of Microsoft happens to be Satya Nadella, Satya, Satya Nadella, Nadella, Satya Nadella, right? And so Microsoft Windows that you use on your laptop, is created by Microsoft Corporation. Again, that's something which you already know, right? And its headquarters is in Redmond, Washington, United States, right? So that's something there. Then you have Google, it's into advertisements, it's into search engine, you know it very well, right? See, headquarters is in California, United States. The founders were Larry Page, Larry, Larry Page, and Sergey Brin, Sergey, Sergey Brin, Brin. And the current CEO is Mr. Sundar Pichai. Since 2015 he's been there, right? And they have incidentally created a parent organization of Google as well, which is Alphabet Inc. So that's again some interesting information for you. So here in this case the right answer is IBM, right? Okay, now let's come to the next question. So the Union Cabinet has given international airport status to Kushinagar Airport, which is in. So you should know a little bit about Kushinagar Airport. It's also called as Padrauna, Padrauna, Padrauna Airport, right? And it's in Kushinagar district in Uttar Pradesh. It's actually in Uttar Pradesh. So the right answer here is Uttar Pradesh, right? Which is option 4. So it is located 50 kilometers east of Gorakhpur Airport, 52 kilometers east of Gorakhpur Airport, right? And this airport is going to be built on 590 acres, and has a single airstrip of about 3.2 kilometers by 46 meters, right? It is capable of handling a large aircraft. So the announcement to make this into an international airport, so this announcement came on June 24th, 2020, right? And it was announced by Shri Narendra Modi that Kushinagar Airport would be an international airport. And this area, Kushinagar, happens to be very famous for because of Gautam Buddha, Lord Buddha, and it's a very important site for Buddhists. So we hope that a lot of Buddhists, it would help increase the Buddhist tourism in the country. So that's a very important thing, right? So that's the thing. And you should know that another international airport that Uttar Pradesh is going to get is in Greater Noida, which is going to be the Jewar Airport, Jewar, Jewar Airport. And this airport is actually very important, and it would help ease the burden on the Indira Gandhi International Airport of Delhi. So in this case, the right answer is Uttar Pradesh. Okay, now let's come to the next question. Which institution has developed Dhruva that can be used to discover locations and route inside India? So basically, we can discover locations and route inside India. Is it IIT Delhi, IIT Madras, IIT Bombay, IIT Kharagpur, or Defense Research, DRDO organization, right? Different Research and Development Organization. So basically, this Dhruv is actually a chip, that has been created by IIT Bombay. So it's basically a navigation chip, and they have developed this chip as navigation nowadays is an essential feature, right, in all of the smart devices that you may have, smartphones or anything else for that matter, right? So this Dhruv chip can be mounted in smartphones and navigation devices to find places and routes within the country, right? So that's the thing. So Dhruv sends and receives the radio signals to India's NAVIC, which is Navigation with Indian Constellation, and to US Global Positioning Systems based satellites to accurately determine navigation under all weather conditions, right? So the chip is developed in 18 months and works in multiple frequency bands that can also handle weak signals. So that's fantastic actually. So to develop the chip, Ministry of Electronics and IT and ISRO, they have provided funds to the institute, right? So here in this case, the right answer is IIT Bombay. So the right answer here is IIT Bombay. Okay friends, let's come to the next question. So according to the guidelines for on-tap licensing of small finance banks in the private sector by the RBI, payments banks willing to convert themselves into small finance banks, SFBs, can apply for such a license only after dash number of years. It's a 3, 5, 4, 7, or is it 8, right? Well, payment banks willing to convert themselves into small finance banks can apply for such a license only after 5 years of operation, right? So the Reserve Bank this is the mandate from the Reserve Bank of India. So the existing payment banks, which are controlled by residents and have completed 5 years of operation, so here the right answer is 5 years, which is option 2, are eligible for conversion into small finance banks after complying with all legal and regulatory requirements of various authorities if they conform to the guidelines, whichever the given guidelines is going to be. So it has been mandated that the minimum capital for setting up an SFB is going to be 200 crores, right? So that's the thing. So the capital that would be required would be like 200 crores, right? And so that's the thing in this case, right? So 5 years is required to set up an SFB by a payment bank. So Airtel Money, Paytm Bank, so these are all Paytm banks, right? Okay. Now, okay, so next question says, a move in which a central bank decides to simultaneously buy long-term securities while selling short-term securities is termed as Operation Twist, Operation Securities, Operation Debt, Operation Swap, or is it Operation Bond? Well, in this case, the right answer is Operation Twist, and this is conducted by the US Federal Reserve. So it's done in the United States, right? So they purchase long-term securities and they sell short-term securities. So basically, if you talk about Operation Twist, it is a program of quantitative easing, like pumping in money in the market, which is used by the Federal Reserve. The so-called twist in the operation occurs whenever the Fed uses the process of its sales from short-term treasury bills to buy long-term treasury notes. So short-term instruments mature in 3 years or less, while Long-term notes, and bonds have a term between 6 and 30 years. So normally the central bank replaces its purchases of short-term bills with new short-term bills, right? So Operation Twist is designed to put down pressure on long-term interest rate. It does this by lowering long-term treasury yields. So treasury bonds, treasury yields, the treasury bond is the bond of this thing. So by buying long-term notes with the proceed from short-term bills, it increases demand for treasury notes. As demand rises, so does the price, just like any other asset. But higher bond prices are offset by a lower yield for investors. So here the right answer is Operation Twist. Operation Securities, Operation Debt, Operation Swap, Operation Bond. There are no such terms like these. Okay, now let's come to the next question. Which state Panchayati Raj Department won the first prize under E-Panchayat Puraskar 2020? Very interesting question. Is it Rajasthan, Karnataka, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, or is it Uttar Pradesh? Well, that's something that you should know. The right answer here is actually Himachal Pradesh. But a few more things that you should understand here is Himachal Pradesh State Panchayati Raj Department won the first prize under E-Panchayat Puraskar 2020. So the prize was given by the Union Minister of Panchayat Raj, and all the 3,226 panchayats of the state have been provided internet facility, and people can access various services online. Isn't that fantastic? So at the village level, people have internet everywhere, right? So the various services such as family register, registration of birth, death and marriages are registered online in the panchayats. So the Union Ministry of Panchayati Raj has been making efforts to bring in transparency, efficiency and accountability in the functioning of Gram Panchayats through the use of information and communication technology, right? So that's the thing. So some things that you should know is the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh is Mr. Jairam Thakur, and the Governor of Himachal Pradesh is Mr. Bandaru Dattatreya, Dattatreya, Mr. Bandaru Dattatreya, right? So that's the thing. And the Union Minister of Panchayati Raj is Mr. Narendra Singh Tomar. Few other facts, Himachal Pradesh got the first prize, state-wise. So there are like multiple categories of these prizes. Category 1 Himachal Pradesh got the first prize, Chhattisgarh got the second, and Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh got the third prize. So Uttar Pradesh coming into this rank is a huge achievement that highlights, is a highlight of the huge achievement of Yogi ji, right? In category 2, Madhya Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh got the prize, and in there are two categories within category A and category B. In category B, Karnataka. So there are different parameters on which these awards were given. So in the main category, Himachal Pradesh was ranked first, Chhattisgarh was ranked second, and Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh were ranked third. So that's the thing. Okay, let's continue further, everybody. Which is the first airport in India to install an indigenously developed aviation weather monitoring system at its runway? Is it IGIT, Indira Gandhi International Airport? Is it Rajiv Gandhi International Airport? Is it Kempe Gowda International Airport? Is it Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport? International Airport? Is it Port Blair International Airport? Well, the right answer is anyone? Is it it's Bengaluru's Kempe Gowda International Airport, right? Which got its aviation weather monitoring system, and this has been installed by the Bangalore International Airport Limited, BIAL, right, which operates Kempe Gowda International Airport, Bengaluru. It's also known as Bangalore Airport or BLR Airport, right? And this technology is indigenously developed. This aviation weather monitoring system is indigenously developed, right? So that's the thing. And it has been developed, as a collaboration between CSIR and National Aerospace, is actually developed by Bangalore-based CSIR National Aerospace Laboratories. So that's, which is actually NAL is part of CSIR actually. CSIR runs multiple organizations in the country. So here the right answer is Kempegowda International Airport. Right. Let's come to the next question. So next question says, according to the Swiss National Bank Annual Banking Statistics 2019, Dash ranked first in terms of money parked by citizens. Is it USA, UK, West Indies, Sri Lanka, or is it Pakistan? Well, as per this report, actually, interestingly, India is ranked 77th and it has fallen actually, right? And India holds only about 0.06% of the total money in these Swiss banks, right? And India's rank in 2018 was 74th, so it's a good thing that we are not falling. So it means less of black money is being parked in these banks, in a way. So the list is actually topped by the United Kingdom. So UK is ranked first in terms of money parked by citizens, and it is followed by the United States actually. And if you talk about Swiss National Bank, it is headquartered in Zurich, Switzerland, right? And the chairman of Swiss National Bank is Mr. Thomas Jordan. Mr. Thomas Jordan. Okay, friends, let's continue. Okay, which bank has launched its digital wallet solution, which is Yuva Pay mobile app? Is it Axis Bank? Is it Yes Bank? Is it SDFC Bank? Or do you think it is ICICI Bank, or is it IndusInd Bank? Well, this Yuva Pay mobile app, it's a unique digital wallet, and it is in partnership with Uduma Technologies, and it has been launched by Yes Bank, and basically it's a contactless payment system. So the collaboration is in line with Yes Bank's fast track innovations efforts of enabling communities to experience the convenience of digital banking, particularly in this pandemic time, this COVID-19 time, lockdown period, and so on and so forth, right? So that's the thing. Yes Bank is an Indian private sector bank which is headquartered in Mumbai, right? The current CEO is Mr. Prashant Kumar, and the founder is Mr. Rana Kapoor, who was in news for not the right reasons. And Yes Bank was founded in 2004. And then we have Axis Bank in the first option, which is the third largest private sector Indian bank in the country. The CEO of Axis Bank is Mr. Amitabh Chaudhary, and it is headquartered in Mumbai, and it was founded in 1993. Then the next option we have in option 3 is SDFC Bank. Again, it's an Indian banking and financial services, right? And it's, I think, now the largest bank it is the largest bank in India by market capitalization as of 2020. It's a very well doing. This bank is doing very well, and it is the largest private sector bank. So in terms of the largest bank, I think SBI still takes the lead, but in terms of private sector banks, SDFC is the largest bank. Earlier it used to be ICICI for a while, but SDFC has now overtaken it. The headquarters is in Mumbai, and the CEO of SDFC Bank is Mr. Aditya Puri. In the fourth, we have ICICI Bank, again an Indian multinational banking and financial services company. The CEO of ICICI Bank currently is Mr. Sandeep Bakshi, BAKHSHI, Mr. Sandeep Bakshi. It is headquartered in Mumbai, right? ICICI Bank. So that's the thing. Then we have in the fifth option, which we have IndusInd Bank Limited. Again, it's a relatively new bank, right? And it is headquartered in Pune, and the CEO of IndusInd Bank is Sumant Katpalia, SUMANT Sumant Katpalia, KATHPALIA, and the owner of IndusInd Bank is Hinduja Group. The owner of IndusInd Bank is founder owner is SP Hinduja Group in this case, right? So that's the thing. So right answer in this question is Yuva Pay has been launched by Yes Bank. Okay, now let's come to the next question. The world's first yoga university outside India has been launched in, is it Paris, France? Is it Los Angeles, USA? Is it Berlin, Germany, Davos, Switzerland, or is it Russia, Moscow? Well, the world's first yoga university outside India, it has been launched on 23rd of June 2020 at United States, Los Angeles city. So right answer is question number 2, right? And this yoga university incidentally has been named after Swami Vivekananda, right? And the university will be known by the name Vivekananda Yoga University, VYU, right? And the university was launched as part of the commemorations for the 6th International Yoga Day, right? So that's the thing. So it's going to offer like MS Yoga kind of courses, online masters program, and like multiple things are planned for this, right? So that's the thing. So it's in Los Angeles Yoga. Sorry, Los Angeles, USA, not yoga. My mistake. Okay. So the next question that we have here is which ministry has observed Sankalp Parva? Is it Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Environmental and Earth Sciences? Is it Ministry of Science and Technology? Is it Ministry of Tribal Affairs, or is it Ministry of Home Affairs? Ministry of Culture has actually celebrated this duration from 28th of June to 12th of July 2020 as the Sankalp Parva period. So basically during this Sankalp Parva, the purpose of this period was to plant as many trees as possible, right? So this initiative has been taken by the call of the Prime Minister to plant at least 5 trees either in office campus or wherever it is possible to ensure a clean and healthy environment of the country. Trees are very important, so it's a fantastic initiative, to promote the plantation of trees, right? So that's the thing. And the trees that have been advised that you should plant are Bargat, Avla, Peepal, Ashok, Bhel. So these trees that last for a very long time, and they are medicinal plants as well. So that's the thing, right? So that's the thing. Anyway, let's continue further, right? So this Ministry of Culture, so the current minister for Ministry of Culture is so right answer of course is Ministry of Culture in this case. So the current minister of Ministry of Culture is Mr. Prahlad Singh, Prahlad, Prahlad Singh, right? So that's the thing. Then we have Ministry of Earth and Ministry of Environment and Earth Sciences, and ministry, the Union Minister for this is Dr. Harshvardhan, right? Minister of Science and Technology, again the Union Minister for this is Mr. Harshvardhan, and Minister of Home Affairs, Ministry of Tribal Affairs, the Union Minister is Mr. Jaswant Singh Suman Bhai Bhabhor, right? So J.S. Bhabhor, that's how you can remember. And Ministry of Home Affairs, is headed by the Union Minister, Mr. Amit Shah. So the right answer here is Ministry of Culture has observed Sankalp Parva, right? Now the next question says, which country has inducted an advanced anti-torpedo decoy system called Marich? Is it Israel? Is it Russia? Is it France? Is it UK? Or is it India? Well, this Marich anti-torpedo system, the Indian Navy has inducted an advanced torpedo defense system, ATDS, called advanced torpedo defense system. So it's anti-torpedo, I think understood. So it's called this Marich. So it has been implemented by India, right? So which country is inducted? It is India in this case, right? So you should know torpedoes, they are self-propelled weapons with a warhead and can be used under or on the water surface. So under the water, they tend to attack. And this advanced torpedo defense system can, misguide the torpedo and it can save the ship. So it's a fantastic technology. So Marich has been designed and developed indigenously by Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO. So DRDO is the one who has developed this, right? And Bharat Electronics Limited would undertake the production of this decoy system, right? So in a way, Marich, what it does is, it detects and locates the incoming torpedo and applies countermeasures to protect the naval platform against the attack. So it first detects and then confuses and diverts the torpedo attack on ships from the underwater. So by diverting the torpedo's original course, it forces it to lose its energy, thus preventing it from being effective on target. So that's fantastic, and this is also part of the Make in India initiative, and it will help India become Atmanirbhar or self-reliant, right? So here India is the country which has inducted an advanced anti-torpedo decoy system called Marich, right? So that's the right answer. Okay, let's come to the next question, everybody. Which space agency has announced that its headquarters will be named after Mary W. Jackson? Is it ISRO? Is it ESA? Is it JAXA? Is it CNSA? Or is it NASA? Except for CNSA, we have already discussed all the other options before, right? CNSA is China's National Space Administration. That is CNSA. Anyway, let's focus on the question. Which space agency has announced that its headquarters will be named after Mary W. Jackson? So it's NASA. So correct answer here is NASA announced on Wednesday that its headquarters will be named after one of its history-making engineers, and she was an African American woman actually. So that's the thing. So Mary W. Jackson was the first African American female engineer, right? And she was part of the group, of very important women who helped NASA succeed in getting American astronauts into space, right? So Miss Mary, she never accepted the status quo. She helped break barriers and open opportunities for African Americans and women in the field of engineering and technology, right? So she did a great job. So it's a fantastic honor for it's to honor someone who has done such a fantastic job. So the right answer here is NASA, right? So that's the thing. Let's come to the next question. Now here we have Michael Martin has been elected as a new Prime Minister of which country? Well, Michael Martin, incidentally, he has been elected the Prime Minister of Ireland, and he was the leader of Fianna Fáil, Fianna, Fianna Fáil, F-A-I-L. Don't ask me why they have named the political party in this way, but the name is Fianna Fáil, and Michael Martin was the leader of this particular group, right? And Martin was voted in 93 votes to 63 at a special parliamentary sitting in Dublin on Saturday, right? So that's the thing. And the current incumbent Prime Minister is Mr. Varadkar, Varadka, and he will be leaving the office, and he's from Fine Gael, Finegael, Fine Gael, right? So in Ireland there's slightly a different kind of an English, and some expressions there in Finland are differently used. So these are one of those few expressions, right? Ireland, incidentally, it's a very small country. It's not that big a country, and it has only 65 lakhs population, or 6.5 million population, right? The next option that we have here is Iceland, right? And it's a Nordic island country, right? And it has very beautiful dramatic landscapes, right? The capital of Iceland is Reykjavik, 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 and it has a population of less than 4 lakhs, 3.64 lakhs only, right? And the Prime Minister of Iceland is Katrín Jakobsdóttir. Spelling is Katrin, Katrín Jakob, Jakobsdóttir, or whatever. So that's how you have to pronounce. Denmark again is a Scandinavian country and has a population of only 58 lakhs. And the current Prime Minister of Denmark is Mette Frederiksen, 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 right? So that's Denmark for you. And then we have Norway as well, and the Norway Prime Minister is Erna Solberg, Erna Solberg, Erna Solberg. Sweden is another Scandinavian country, a fantastic country, and the current Prime Minister of Sweden is Stefan Löfven, Stefan. Stefan is the first name, and then we have Lofven, Löfven, Stefan Löfven, right? So the right answer here is Ireland. So Michael Martin has been elected as the new Prime Minister of Ireland, right? Okay, let's go further. The next question that we have is, which of the following is not true regarding order check? Not true. Well, an order check is not the same as an ordinary check. So order check can be paid to the name payee across the bank account if so presented. Identification must be insisted on the bank by the bank. So if you cancel the bearer, then the order check, so the normal check becomes an order check. But if the bearer is not cancelled, then the order check is a normal check, right? Ordinary check. So basically here the right answer is none of the above, right? So all of these are actually true about order checks. Then we have, which state has developed India's first lichen park? Lichen park. So what are lichens, by the way? Lichens is actually a Jurassic era organism, so it's a very old organism. So lichen is a composite organism that is formed by a symbiotic relationship between an algae and a cyanobacteria, right? And some fungi species. So I don't know if we should even call it a plant, but we consider it to be a plant. So it's an algae and cyanobacteria and some fungi species, right? So lichens occur from high alpine elevations to sea level and have the ability to grow on almost any surface, right? And some of the uses of lichen is it's a key ingredient to the famous Hyderabadi biryani. Further, lichens are used to prepare indigenous perfumes in Kannauj. They are also used in sunscreen creams, dyes, and some medicines as well. So that's lichen for you, right? And the world is home to close to 20,000 lichens. They have been existing since the Jurassic Park era time, right? And in India, close to 2,714 different lichens are found, right? You should Google out and see some of the pictures. So they're like green in color and they kind of grow like a moss, but it's different. Some of them are leafy as well, right? So Uttaranchal, Uttarakhand, is the answer in this case, right? So Uttarakhand, has set up this country's first lichen park in Munsiari. The name of the place is Munsiari, 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 which is part of the Pithoragarh district, Pithoragarh, Pithoragarh district, right? So close to 600 different lichen species are found in Uttarakhand itself, right? Which is fantastic. So this park, is going to be spread over an area of 1.5 acres, right? So that's beautiful about this thing, right? So the right answer here is Uttarakhand. That's going to be where the first lichen park is going to be developed, right? Okay, then we have which of the following has approved a 500 million for strengthening teaching, learning and result for states program STARS? Is it World Bank? Is it RBI? Is it IMF? Is it New Development Bank? Or is it Asian Development Bank? Okay, so the World Bank, so right answer here is actually World Bank, which has approved 500 million for strengthening teaching, learning and results for state programs. So under this program, the STARS program, which has been launched on June 24, is to improve the quality and governance of school education in 6 Indian states, right? So some 250 million students between the age of 16 and 17 in 1.5 million schools, and over 10 million teachers will benefit from the program, right? That's the beauty of this thing, right? So the right answer here is World Development Bank, right? Asian Development Bank, again, which is headquartered in Philippines. That's something you already know. Okay, let's move forward. Now the next question talks about, with which country India signed a pact for the construction of the 600 megawatt Kolongochu joint venture hydroelectric project? Is it Nepal, Bhutan, Thailand, Maldives, or is it Myanmar? Well, the project has actually been signed between India and Bhutan, right? 600 megawatt Kolongochu hydropower project, right? So it will be a first ever joint venture project actually between India and Bhutan. From India, Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam (SJVN) would be participating, and from Bhutan side, the company that would be participating is Druk, Druk Green Power Corporation, DGPC, Druk Green Power Corporation, right? That's the thing. So this Kolongochu project, which was agreed upon in 2008, as part of India's commitment to help Bhutan create a total of 10,000 megawatt of installed capacity by 2020, right? So that's the thing. So this 600 megawatt run of the river project is located on the lower course of Kolongochu River in eastern Bhutan, and the name of the district is Trashi Yangtze, TRASHIYANG Trashi Yangtze district, right? And the project is expected to complete in 2025, right? And it's a 50-50 joint venture between India and Bhutan, right? So that's the thing. Okay, let's so here the answer is Bhutan. Let's go further. Now here we are going to talk about sovereign gold bonds. Who among the following is eligible to buy sovereign gold bonds? Is it individuals? Is it Hindu undivided family? Is it trust, charitable institution, one or two of above, or is it 1, 2, and 3? Well, the sovereign bond, the sovereign gold bond, our government securities denominated in grams of gold. They are substitutes for holding physical gold. Investors have to pay the issue price in cash, and the bonds will be redeemed, in cash on maturity. So the bond is issued by Reserve Bank of India on behalf of Government of India, right? So the quantity of gold for which the investors pay is protected, since he receives the ongoing market price at the time of redemption or premature redemption, right? So that's the thing. So the SGP offers a superior alternative to holding gold in physical form. The risks and costs of storage are eliminated. Investors are assured of the market value of gold at the time of maturity and periodical interest. So SGB is free from issues like making charges and purity in the case of gold and in jewelry form. The bonds are held in the books of the RBI or in demat form, eliminating risk of loss of scrip, etc. Right. So there may be a risk of capital loss, if the market price of gold declines. That's up to the investor how they would like to look at the market. However, the investor does not lose in terms of the unit of gold which he has actually paid for. So the unit of gold remains with the investor, right? So who's eligible? So in this case, the right answer is all three of them: individuals, Hindu United Divided Families, trusts, and charitable institutions. They are all eligible to buy sovereign gold bonds, right? So that's the thing. Hindu undivided families, trusts, universities, charitable institutions, individual investors, even people who are young can buy, somebody else can buy on their behalf, right? Joint holding is also involved, minor can also invest, right? So so parent can buy them on behalf of the minors. So that's the thing. So right answer is all three of them: 1, 2, and 3. Okay, friends, so that brings us to the end of a very lengthy session. So I hope you got something to learn. So with this, we'd like to end today's session. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody.